Welcome to another one of these special videos where I talk about comics and comics related that were wrong in the year, at least worst, of 2019. Surprisingly, not a heck of a lot of stuff here. I like over the years, there's been like about 15 or 20 things. This year, not very much, not a lot per se, but something basically very like some of the stuff is basically outright ridiculous. The fact that stuff even happened and the fact that it's not something that never happened in the first place. Let's first start off with something that actually started at the very start of this year. Vic Mignogna, the voice of the guy who voices Broly from Dragon Ball Z Super Broly, and who voiced Eric Ulrich from Fullmetal Alchemist / Fullmetal Alchemist, was accused of sexual harassment. Yeah, despite the fact there was no proof of this at all. Yeah, the people accused him were a bunch of female fans, Monica Rial, the woman who voices Bulma, and Jamie Marcetti for some reason. Yes. And because of all this sexual harassment stuff, he got fired from Funimation and Rooster Tooth. And he sued them for defamation of character was later released, later dismissed. Like, okay. First of which, there was no proof of the sexual harassment at all, and yet they fired him. Yeah, the reasoning for this is quite stupid. One of the female voice actors accused of sexual. I'm not going to say which one it was because I don't know if this was actually true or not. Apparently, because he took a jelly bean that was hers. And apparently, that is sexual harassment. That is stupid. Really, really stupid. You call that sexual harassment? No, he just took your freaking jelly bean. Who freaking cares? Why is this considered sexual harassment nowadays? This is so really stupid. Yeah, this whole thing is utter bullcrap. And I have nothing much else to say about it. Aside from the fact Mignogna is not a terrible person, from what I've heard. It's just the stuff basically said toward him is really stupid. Something else also really stupid happened early this year, but not the start of the year, was the fact that Danny Cotis, the guy who currently writes Venom, he's at the write Thor, he was writer of Guardians of the Galaxy, was basically, he got a bunch of death threats. I talked to him about this. Even he agrees. The whole death threats against him were really stupid. And the reasoning for this is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, apparently some group of people really wanted him to ship Eddie Brock and the Venom symbiote. Which to me sounds absolutely disgusting. I mean, come on, it's a full-grown man. You're shipping him with goo. That's what the Venom symbiote is. It's goo. This is absolutely disgusting. He said no to this, which rightfully so, because even he probably would agree. This is utterly ridiculous and disgusting. And yet they basically threatened to kill him? Seriously? Over this piece of nonsense? This is by far one of the most stupidest things I've seen people do online. Like, they get upset because of one thing, and they basically get the man death threats. At least the last couple raves basically, even though they probably should not have gotten death threats, but at least the reasoning for was, I mean, yeah. In the case of what happened with, let's say, Tom King last year, actually was about, yeah, it was last year with The Wedding. I mean, yeah, he did not need death threats, but at least there was kind of a good reason for it. At least was a pretty plausible reason for death threats. But even he can handle death threats because he was in the CIA. Danny Cotis is just a writer. He just wrote something. He didn't want to do this particular thing the fans want him to do, and he basically sent death threats to him. By far one of the most stupidest reasons I've ever heard of sending someone death threats. Yeah, it's one of the stupidest. Another thing. And this basically is something that brought my attention thanks to a review I saw that Ebra did just yesterday. Apparently, and I've been hearing rumblings about this for the past few months, apparently nerds are bullying other nerds for liking something other people don't like. This is by far really stupid. I mean, I have heard rumblings about people who are Star Wars fans are sort of in a online civil war with each other. Yes, I have heard about this from people from Awesome Universe. Even now, I myself am neutral to this because I may be a Star Wars fan, but I'm not taking sides in this stupid conflict because this conflict is utterly stupid. And the whole thing started with The Last Jedi. Yes, a movie that came out 2 years ago, and people are still bickering over this damn movie. I didn't have a big problem with this. Everyone else, I thought the film was pretty decent. It's a pretty decent Star Wars movie, and yet people just downright hate it. I'm not going to say anything about Rise of Skywalker because I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Yep. But the whole thing of nerds bullying other nerds on the frickin' internet is by far other nonsense. It's stupid. It is frickin' ridiculous. You're bickering over nothing. My message to people who bullying other people on the internet, please, grow up and move on. Last Jedi came out 2 years ago. I mean, as far as I can tell, I myself am not involved in this stupid civil war between fans, or at least the bullying stuff. I myself have never been victim to this at all. And I've been making videos now for 6 years. I have never suffered through this at all. Yeah, people may disagree with my opinion. Fine. They're not going to outright bully me over basically what I say or what I do on the frickin' internet. And I refuse to get involved with this nonsense. Because that's what it is. Other nonsense. And the whole cyberbullying aspect is really stupid. And people should stop bullying other people. This is utterly nonsense. Okay? Move on and grow up. That's my opinion on the matter when it comes to this. And people who are bullying people, like, if you're a real person, if you bullied me, I will beat the crap out of you. So get over it. Moving to something else. The series delayed for no reason. Yeah, this is something I've kind of noticed this year. That apparently no one's talking about this at all. Okay? There's several DC series this year that were delayed for absolutely no reason. I mean, there was Doomsday Clock. Yeah, but that kind of had a reason because Jeff Johns basically is a busy guy. Heroes in Crisis got delays. Yeah, DC Comics apparently had this thing this year where apparently limited series can come out whenever the writers basically are done with the damn book. Yeah, several books are delayed for absolutely no reason at all. The only limited series that did not receive delays were Batman limited series, and he got a boatload this year. But it seems like a lot of other limited series that came out this year, also for some reason, some limited series come every 2 months for some reason. I'm like, limited series supposed to be monthly. Not bi-monthly. At least Marvel didn't have this problem this year, thank God. Yeah, strangely enough, Marvel did not have a problem with delays this year. Which is quite interesting because over the past few years, they've had a problem with basically for some books on time. This year, surprisingly, from what I've seen, no books basically come out like late. Not that good. I think maybe there was like one book that skipped a month, but not really. No, it's been perfectly fine this year. Everything's been very much on schedule, which is kind of surprising. And usually a lot of the time, basically, I'm ranting about some stupid thing Marvel's doing. But surprisingly this year, I didn't see anything that weren't basically them being stupid. Because they actually put up 2 really good events this year. Like War of Realms, like that was really cool. The relaunch of the... I'll talk more about the positive stuff basically that happened this year in a later video. But, yes, like, this by far was really dumb. And the last that this is by far the only other thing I can think of basically. Oh, there's a couple more things I forgot to mention. Forget this last one. Grayson turning to Rick Grayson. I know this happened late last year, but I forgot to mention this last year. Yeah, by far one of the most stupid decisions DC made, and this thing ran up until recently. And thank God James Tynion is going to basically fix this by putting Dick Grayson back in his frickin' Nightwing costume. This is by far a really stupid concept, and apparently DC did not want to have a Dick, or at least someone named Dick, in their comic books. I mean, really? His name is Dick Grayson. He's been called this since 1930s. What is the problem with this character? Seriously, this has been sort of a problem basically DC's had. Apparently since frickin' 2006. Apparently some higher-ups don't really care for the damn character, so they've attempted many times to kill him off. They have attempted to kill him off now 3 times. They first tried to do Infinite Crisis. They tried to do it again in Forever Evil. And once again just recently. as of last year. It seems as though this is now 2 to 3 times it was done in stuff basically done by Jeff Johns. This time was something by Tom King. Yeah, I think Tom King was just simply told to do this. I don't think necessarily this is his fault, but the whole thing of turning Rick Grayson into Dick Grayson to Rick Grayson is by far one of the most stupidest things DC done. And I'm liking what they're doing right now in the book with him becoming a Talon. That's the most interesting thing that's happened since the whole Rick Grayson stuff happened. Because I found this more interesting than him becoming Rick Grayson, a guy who basically is a cab driver frequents bars. Yeah. But last but not least, the one thing I've got to talk about is something that my friend Tivia did a live reaction to the ending of Heroes in Crisis. And the fact that the creative team took a lot of flack this year over the ending of this particular series. They stuck to their guns. They say, yeah, we're not changing the ending, despite people say. And people downright hated them for it. They took a lot of flack over this ending. And Scott Lobdell basically is trying to redeem the character who was kind of indirectly responsible for the events of Heroes in Crisis. And the series flashed forward. Yeah, it was Wally West was involved with was behind the whole thing. Now, I didn't hate it. The ending. I thought the ending was okay. The artwork, I think, was probably the best thing about the series. I have nothing against Clay Mann. I met him once, and I know my friend Tivia lists Heroes in Crisis as one of his worst comics that came out last year. Me personally, I didn't have a really big problem with it at all. I mean, my biggest high point of the book was his artwork. The artwork is very freaking fantastic because Clay Mann is really good artist. And I even pointed out to him, he's one of the few artists I've seen who is good at drawing hundreds of characters and making them look really good. And he kind of agrees with me with that opinion. Otherwise, that's really it. I can't possibly think of any other negative thing at least bad thing that happened this year in comics and comics related. Basically about 6 things. Normally it's about 15, but this year, no, not really. Though I didn't like the fact that some books were ended this year, some of which have no reason to end, and some of them basically didn't say, oh yeah, this is the final issue. Yeah, Marvel's still doing that, but that was not really a big problem this year at all. I mean, yeah, there were books canceled this year, that's nothing new. And people not knowing about it, that's nothing new. But at least that it's not like a lot. It's few comics here and there. Some of whom actually were announced a month prior, which is quite nice. Though they kind of reversed the ending of one particular series by announcing, oh yeah, it's getting relaunched #1 next year. Okay. Yeah. So, excuse me. Yeah. I will talk more about the positive later. I'll probably get a chance to do it maybe either tomorrow night or probably, and this is my personal guess, probably on the 26th, probably on Thursday. Yeah, and there's still maybe like one other video I want to do today, and that's a review of the newest episode of Black Clover, which I'll watch soon. I'll probably do a review before I get home from church. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular video. If you have any thoughts on what I say, feel free to give your thoughts of what I thought were things that were wrong this year in comics and comics related in the comments below. And be sure to give this a like and subscribe to my channel. I don't really say this very often because, here's kind of the thing. People can see right there on the frickin' video there's a like and dislike thumb. Okay? I'm only asking a thumbs up because, I'm just politely asking for it. And also asking for more subscribers. I don't mind having more subscribers. I will talk about that in my things I thought were really good about this year. Positive stuff. Basically, I mainly do this particular type of video because I kind of got the idea to do this from Wrestling with Regret. Okay? But until you see my next video, which will hopefully be Black Clover, okay? To see you there. Bye.